Hello friends, so today we are going to draw hands. I'll be taking you through some basic techniques which one you can use to for drawing hands, and we'll be covering three postures which you can see on your right. So basically a fist and a weird sort of hand twisted posture. So hand is very difficult to draw because it has so many motions, such a huge range of motion in itself. You can make so many different postures with hands, so it becomes very difficult to make those postures. So what is the basic thing to do about that? Well, the first thing you can do is divide the hand into very simple parts, very simple blocks. So for example, for the first part, what we did was we made the palm one single block, the thumb one single block, and the thumb is resting on another block which is attached to the palm, and the fingers are again just one single block. So you do that, okay? So you make everything like a block, and imagine that everything is made carved out of wood. So in that way it becomes a lot more easier to draw that. The second thing that is important is that you should always keep your an image for reference when you're beginning to start learning how to draw hands. Always keep an image in your mind. And what is the best example of that? Well, your very own hand. You can just use your own hand because it's view all the time. You can just start by doing that and make your own hands. So the second part of this step is when you're done with blocking the shapes. The second part is you add a little bit more details to it. So you add these knuckles, okay? So basically hands has all these joints that you see. So you basically make all the joints, all the little tiny circles for the joints, for the nails, and for the knuckles. So basically this video was done for a digital version. So if you are doing it on paper and pencil, you can basically just erase out the before other parts, or and then draw over it. But this was done for a digital format. So yeah, you can see I've used copied a different layer, and then I've made I'm working on that. So as you see on this image also, I've added the knuckles, and then I'm just drawing over it, just making the lines a little more darker, just working over it, trying to give it a shape. So what now happens is that from we're coming out of the block images, we are making curves, okay? So human form has so many curves to it. There is not a single straight line there. So all these curves, so you add these curves to the hand so that it becomes more organic, it looks more organic, and it feels as if it's like a real it gives much more realism to it. So therefore, instead of any straight blocky lines, we replace them by giving this curved lines. So that is the second step for this part. As you see, for here also we have added those knuckles, we have added those all the joints that you have in your hand. The third step would be cleaning up the process. So the what we'll be doing is, so basically now we'll be cleaning it all up. So you see I reduce the opacity of the layer. You can basically when you draw in the pen and paper, you can basically draw it very lightly, and you can then draw darker over it. So now you start by adding all very fine tuning the lines, uh, making you don't add a lot of details. I mean, so basically if you have nails, you just give the nails, and just give, because the hands have so where the knuckle is, there is going to be a bulge in the hand, in the fingers, and the rest of the now you can see you can add the wrinkles, you can add the curves, for example. Yeah, so see there you can add the wrinkles, you see a little bit of knuckles, you can add the veins, and you can add a little bit of bones, and so it just becomes a little bit more real. Yeah, so the same thing could be done. So you see I see a mistake there because I was actually checking my reference image, and the middle finger was actually shorter, okay? So there are other mistakes also. See, the tiny finger is actually still very big, it should have been more shorter. So these mistakes you can change. So that's why it's very important to keep something as a reference image. So always keep your hand along with as a reference next, and you just look at it, see what the mistakes are, compare, and correct it, and then you can again start sketching, okay? So similarly, this is the second what do you say, the second posture, and same here. I mean, I've added, you're just adding shapes, you're just adding lines to it, and getting rid of the extra, like the knuckles, just you give the edge to it, you don't show, and it's like you're putting up the skin on the hand right now, and you just add the wrinkles to foldings of the skins to it. For example, your palm, it will have those lines, lifelines, as you see, so all this thing will come, the nerves, So you can basically all these details come from the hand. Okay, so you basically look at your hand and all these details actually come from your hand itself. So this is the last posture. So it's actually very interesting. It's like a superhero posture, no? Like a twist of hand. So basically, yeah, so see there is a stretching of skin there in the hand. So and in the knuckles, wherever you see the undulations for the knuckles. So all those joints in the finger, there is a up down in the fingers. So though all those you need to add. And yeah, sometimes in drawings you get a little exaggerated, like the tiny finger there. In real life it will never be so thin, but then you add it just to give more dynamics to the hand. It becomes a little bit more flowy and dynamic in that sense. So yeah, so basically this is how you do it. I mean, you have you take everything as blocks, you make three processes, add knuckles and all the joints to it, and then you add the final details to it, and that's it.